Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time seeing one of my videos. My name is April May and today I'm doing a tarot reading on the Delphi murders. That would be Abigale Williams and Libby German. So we do have a lot of information has come out. Well, I say a lot. There is a bit of information that has come out about these murders. And we do have some suspects in mind. So I just want to see what the tarot cards have to say about this reading. I haven't done one yet on them. Not one, I've done one in the past before I had my channel. So I am going to do these are my true crime oracle cards that I designed. So we're going to start with these first. And it says stranger, drugs were a factor, and perpetrator already interviewed. Huh. Okay. So clearly they did not know who this person was. It's saying drugs were a factor and the perpetrator was already interviewed by law enforcement. So this tells me that the perpetrator was on drugs. Some type of drug was a factor. This could be illegal drugs or it could be prescription drugs, an abuse of prescription drugs. So I'm going to just slide these cards up just a little bit to make room. And then we are going to use, these are the Right Away Apprentice Tarot cards. They do have the descriptions listed on the front so that you can follow along with the reading. So we have the Strength card. Let me move these up even further. The Strength card, upright. The Knight of Cups, upright. And the Page of Pentacles, upright. So the Strength is control, inner strength. It can also mean patience and compassion. So the Knight of Cups is kind of empathy for others, motivated by feelings, romantic, fully embraces and shows emotions. And the Page of Pentacles is a new project, making a dream into reality. Okay. So strength, this is control, but it's a non-aggressive control. And this is motivated by feelings. And this is making a dream real. So this is telling me that this was something he had been wanting to do for a while. And this, we've all seen the video of him walking across the bridge, and then he's telling them down the hill. But how did he force them down the hill? This is telling me he did that without using an aggressive manner. So I don't know if this was at gunpoint, but we know that he just told them down the hill and apparently they went. And this is saying non-aggressive control. He had control over them without having to be aggressive with them in the beginning. That's how they got them down the hill. And this is telling me he was making a dream come true. This had been a desire of his. So we're going to pull two more. So we have the Six of Pentacles upright, the Nine of Swords reversed, and the Page of Wands reversed. The Six of Pentacles, that's balancing and equity. The Nine of Swords reversed. This is like diminished anxiety and intensity, kind of being objective, and kind of releasing negative or frightening thoughts. And then the Page of Wands is dampened enthusiasm, problems with a new endeavor, and overzealous. So this is telling me, I'm gonna have to come back to this card. This one's, I'm not sure about. Let me Let me see if I can tap into this energy and see what what this is about. So this is something he had desired and been thinking about and dreaming about, fantasizing about for a while. And this is telling me that he grew bolder and bolder by the day. You know, I feel like he was out on this trail and there were other potential victims, but he couldn't get up the courage to do it. And as time went by and Abby and Libby showed up, he had developed the nerve, the courage to fulfill his fantasy. And this is telling me that it went too far. Something happened. Taking on two girls at one time. I don't think that was his plan, but that was the way it turned out. I don't think that was originally his game plan, was to take two. And I think he got himself into a bind, and I think that's why the two of them, that's what this is. Okay, thank you. Yes, that's why it went that far. Why it ended up with their deaths. He got overzealous. I feel like if he would have only taken one person, it wouldn't have resulted in a murder. And then we have the Fool, upright, Four of Wands, upright, and the Death card, upright. So the Fool is like a fresh start. It can be spontaneous, naive, inexperienced. Let's see. So this is definitely him. Reaching a milestone. Solid foundation has been laid. Four of Wands. Solid foundation has been laid. Something that can be built upon. I think this is his alibi. Oh. And death. So they have been looking into the neighbor. No, not the neighbor. The guy that's property they were on. Was his name Ronald? Something like that? Okay, yeah, thank you. It was him. I think it was him. That's what this is telling me. He is the one. He set up his alibi. It took them a while to figure out there were a couple of little holes in his alibi, and the fact that he had called his brother or a cousin or somebody, a friend, to establish his alibi, and then they realized that his alibi, there were holes in it, or it wasn't true. There's something about his alibi that wasn't right. But he foolishly thought that he had laid this great foundation, this great alibi, to get away with this. And it did buy him time. Has that guy died? Because whoever the perpetrator is no longer with us. That's what this is telling me. Yeah. And this is, I'm just going to put this, and I hate to say this, but I rarely pull the death card, but when I do, it usually means that. I always try to tell people it can mean the beginning of a cycle and the beginning of a new phase in your life. It's usually a major transition. I just pulled the death card the other day in a reading, and within 2 days a family member had passed away. So I also did it with my husband not too long ago, and his boss died. So this card bothers me a lot when it comes up in reading. I've even threatened to remove it from my deck and just have a 77 card deck and not a 78 card deck, because this one bothers me when I pull it. But in this case, I think the perpetrator is no longer with us. I think he has passed. And if I'm right, if I'm getting this right, the guy who owned that property, I believe he's passed. Yeah, so yeah. Oh. I think he's done this before. And the new project that's making a dream a reality was taking two at one time. That, I think, was his... Am I getting that right? But I think he lost control of the situation, and that's what resulted in their death. He was too overzealous, too ambitious, thought he could handle the situation, and he couldn't. And that is why this wasn't just an assault. This was, it went as far as it did and resulted in their death. Let me just keep going through this and make sure that I'm getting everything. I feel like when I hit the death card, I feel like that ends it with that deck. I am going to pull 3 from the dark mirror oracle cards. I am going to pull 3 of these. Would have normally gone on further with this, but I feel like with death, that ends the kind of ends the reading for me. And I don't think they've ever said what the murder weapon was, but it was something that caused him to get control over those girls without using aggression. I'm going to say a gun or a knife, something along those lines, something that would allow him to have control over them from a distance where he didn't have to put hands on them. He had these desires. He was motivated by a fantasy that he wanted to live out. And at first I thought the problem was he took 2, but he wanted to take 2. Balancing the inequity, charity, aid, generosity, sharing resources. Oh, balancing inequity. Yeah, this has, what does this mean? What does this card mean? Okay, indecision. You better think twice. Oh, this is the 2 of Swords reversed. And I'm just trying to clarify what this card means, balancing inequity. So 2 of Swords reversed, that's like you better think twice. An indecision. Did he? An ongoing stalemate too. Oh, okay. Oh. He had seen them before. He had seen them before in this area. He owned property right there. He had seen them before. And I feel like there was some kind of an exchange in words. And okay, thank you. Okay, I get it. He had seen them before. He had interacted with them before. Oh gosh, it all makes sense. Okay, and hang on, I'm getting like a flush of information here. Hang on. He had seen them before. He's had an exchange with them before. And I feel like he was trying to convince them the first time to go with him somewhere. And they said no. And they were suspicious of him the first time. And they were like, no, we're not going to go with you. When he saw them this last time, that's why Libby was recording him as he was coming across the bridge, because she didn't trust him, because she had already had an exchange with him, had a conversation with him where he creeped her out. That's what I'm getting. That's what this is telling me. But this time he came armed. He had a weapon of some kind. I'm going to say a gun that got them down the hill, which we saw in the video. But that's why she was recording him as he was coming across the bridge, because she didn't trust him. She had already had an encounter with him that sent up red flags. That's why she was recording him. And that was making a dream. See, he had had fantasies about doing whatever it was he did to them. He had had these fantasies over doing that to them. I feel like he felt insulted by them with the first exchange. Like they kind of laughed in his face. I get that feeling, like they laughed in his face, like, are you crazy? We want to go with you. Like he was an old pervert. That's the feeling I get. And this comes off to me like a bit of a revenge for the way they made him feel. And that's celebrating the achievement. This card Four of Wands is not only a solid foundation has been laid, but it can be celebrating an achievement. It also can be reaching a milestone. He was celebrating the fact that he finally got to do what he wanted to do these two that he wasn't able to do the first time. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to pull 3 from this. Alone in the world. Forgotten oneself. And masquerade. Yeah. So this is telling me alone in the world, feeling rejected, feeling alone, feeling rejected by women, rejected by these 2 girls. They laughed in his face, and yeah, he sought those 2 out. This wasn't just random. He sought those 2 out. Forgetting oneself. That's, you know, this is when you forget the person that is in control, and letting the monster out. And masquerade, that's lying. That's putting on a front that how innocent you are. I'm just the innocent guy that was unfortunate to own the land that these girls were found on. Yeah, putting on a masquerade. He was putting on one for them, putting on one for society, and then putting on one for the law enforcement. Yeah. So that, okay. Just want to make sure that I'm getting everything. And drugs were a factor. So I wonder if he used some type of drug to build up the courage to do what he did. He might have even, the first time he encountered them, did he offer them drugs? Is that what you're telling me? Like to smoke marijuana with him or something like that? And they didn't want anything to do with them? I get this old pervert. You're just an old pervert type vibe. That's what I'm getting. Like they were saying, you're just an old pervert. And he resented that. He felt insulted, and they were too keen on not trusting him. They did not trust him the first time that they saw him. He gave off that creepy vibe, and they listened to it, and they didn't trust it. And that is why she was filming him as he was coming across the bridge, because she didn't trust him. That totally explains why she was filming him, secretly filming him. He did not know, or he would have taken her phone. Yeah. All right. So that's everything I'm getting off of this. Yeah. I'm going to end this here. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you have any cases you would like for me to cover, please leave me a comment down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Please be safe out there and make good decisions, and I will see you in the next video.